For as long as we've had science, we've had this burning curiosity to push the limits, right? To kind of peek behind the curtain of reality. But what happens when that push brings us right to the very edge of oblivion? Today, we're going to look at the moments when the greatest minds on Earth had to seriously ask themselves, wait a minute, could this experiment be our last? And that brings us right here, the New Mexico desert, 1945. The world's top physicists are about to detonate the very first atomic bomb. But there was this terrifying possibility hanging in the air. What if the explosion started a chain reaction in the atmosphere, like literally set the sky on fire? The math said it probably wouldn't happen. But as that countdown started, the Nobel laureate Enrico Fermi made this dark joke about taking bets, and it revealed a chilling truth. They weren't 100% sure. They pushed the button anyway. So that moment at the Trinity test, it wasn't a one-off. It was really the beginning of a pattern, which brings us to the question that's going to drive this whole explainer. Just how many other times have we rolled the dice with our own existence? All right, first up, let's talk about the big machines. I mean, the really big ones. Particle accelerators, like the Large Hadron Collider. You've heard of it. They were built to recreate the first moments after the Big Bang. But to the public? Well, they sounded a whole lot like doomsday machines.
Okay, so what's fascinating here is the massive gap between public fear and actual physics. The headlines were screaming about Earth-eating black holes and these reality-shredding things called strangelets. But the scientific reality, it was, well, a lot calmer. See, the universe itself has been running these same experiments for billions of years. Cosmic rays slam into our atmosphere with way more energy than any collider, and we're still here. Any tiny black hole they could create would evaporate instantly, and any strangelet would just fall apart in the insane heat.
So here's the key takeaway. While the doomsday scenarios were pretty much debunked, the fear itself was very real, and it forced a huge cultural shift in science. These big projects learned that secrecy just breeds panic. To earn the public's trust, they had to be transparent. So open safety reports, independent reviews, that all became the new standard, and it's a direct legacy of those early fears. Now, let's switch gears to a totally different kind of danger, one where the threat wasn't some theoretical black hole, but a simple slip of the hand. This is the story of the Demon Core, a small sphere of plutonium, and the scientists who got way too close. They actually called it tickling the dragon's tail. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about how risky this was. The procedure involved lowering a heavy shell over the plutonium core, using, and you're not going to believe this, a flathead screwdriver to keep a tiny gap open. In 1946, that screwdriver slipped. The gap closed, the core went supercritical, and a burst of deadly blue radiation just flashed through the room. And the horrifying thing is, that accident was the second one of its kind in less than a year. Two brilliant physicists lost their lives because of these incredibly risky, hands-on procedures. The cost of this almost cavalier approach was just devastatingly clear. The aftermath was immediate, and it was permanent. These hands-on tricks were banned. Period. From then on, all work like this had to be done using remote-controlled machines from behind thick protective shielding. A new culture of strict checklists and rigid protocols replaced that dangerous reliance on just a scientist's steady hand. But what happens when it's not a slip of the hand, but a slip in the math? Sometimes even the world's most brilliant scientists can get the numbers catastrophically wrong. And our first example of this is the Castle Bravo nuclear test. So it's 1954, and US physicists are testing a brand new hydrogen bomb design. Their calculations were solid, or so they thought. They predicted an explosion with the force of about 6 million tons of TNT, and they set up all their ships and observation posts based on that number. Yeah, they were wrong. The actual blast was 15 megatons, 2.5 times bigger than they predicted. Turns out, an isotope called lithium-7, which they thought would be inert, reacted in a way they didn't expect and basically supercharged the explosion. It became the biggest bomb the US ever detonated, and it was a complete and utter accident. And the consequences were just devastating. Radioactive ash rained down on inhabited islands that everyone thought were in a safe zone. And about 80 miles away, the crew of a Japanese fishing boat, the Lucky Dragon, got showered in fallout. All 23 crew members got sick, and one of them later died. Castle Bravo proved that even when you think you've done all the math, the universe can always have other plans. Let's look at another wild miscalculation. In 1962, the US decided to detonate a nuke in space. I mean, what could go wrong? Well, as it turns out, a lot. The electromagnetic pulse was way stronger than they expected. It knocked out streetlights and phone systems in Hawaii, which was 900 miles away. But the real surprise was the radiation. The blast created these artificial radiation belts around the Earth that just fried the electronics of about a third of all satellites in orbit, crippling both American and British spacecraft. They had accidentally demonstrated a new and terrifying form of warfare.
But sometimes the danger isn't bad physics or a clumsy hand. Sometimes it's a flawless machine doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and one human being having the guts to say, no, the machine is wrong. Okay, picture this, September 26, 1983. Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov is on duty at a Soviet early warning command center. Suddenly, alarms are blaring everywhere. The system reports 5 incoming American nuclear missiles. Now, protocol was crystal clear, reported up the chain of command, which would almost certainly trigger a full-scale Soviet retaliation. But Petrov, he hesitated. He just thought, a real first strike wouldn't be just 5 missiles, it would be hundreds. He went with his gut and reported it as a system malfunction, literally betting the fate of the entire world on his own judgment. And here's the crazy part, Petrov was right. The world's most advanced warning system had been tricked by something completely mundane, sunlight glinting off of some clouds at just the right angle. A single man's intuition was the only thing that stood between a simple software glitch and global thermonuclear war.
So after hearing all this, what have we learned from all these close calls? Well, each one of these terrifying stories, from the near misses to the outright tragedies, taught us a really hard-won lesson about the price of knowledge. We didn't just get lucky, we learned. The fallout from Castle Bravo and Starfish Prime, that led directly to the partial test ban treaty, ending all those atmospheric tests. The fears around those giant colliders, they created that new culture of transparency and independent review. And the Demon Core accidents, they forced the creation of rigid safety protocols. These safeguards we have today exist because we stared right into the abyss. So I think the crucial point is this. That drive to discover, to figure things out, it's one of humanity's greatest strengths, but it's not a free pass. Every single step forward into the unknown comes with risks. And real, sustainable progress can only happen when it's balanced by humility, by oversight, and by a deep, deep respect for what can go wrong. Look, these stories aren't just history lessons. They're a blueprint for the future. The next forbidden experiment is already being planned somewhere, in a physics lab, a biotech firm, or just in lines of computer code. And that really leaves us with one final thought. We now know for a fact that some doors, once you open them, can never be closed again. So what's the next one we're about to knock on?